players in the world and their best plays.
Magic again.
Messi through 4.
Brilliant!
Threads it in. And there's the goal from Pedro.
It's sports on 32 FM 94.9.
All right, good afternoon, sports lovers. Welcome to Scoreboard Reloaded right here on 32 FM 94.9, your laughter station. My name is OLORUNTOBA Yusuf, and today we'll be serving you all the latest stories across the exciting world of sport, in-depth analysis as well of the latest headlines across both the MPFL, some transfer stories. Don't forget reactions as well to the Premier League Manager and Player of the Month nominations. We'll also be continuing down to some of the games happening tonight in the Coppa del Rey as well as the Coppa Italia. SAMIES is here with me this afternoon. SAMIES, it's great to have you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, OLORUNTOBA. So glad again that we are here to talk about sport and stories.
Yeah, of course, we also will be joining our colleague Toby Ajiwale virtually as well to help us make sense of some of the headlines. And you heard this story in the morning actually on Scoreboard in 15 when SAMIES and Kenny were here. It's about 𝐂𝐿 Khalifat announcing the immediate withdrawal from the Nigeria Premier Football League MPFL following sanctions imposed on the club for failing to honour their matchday 24 fixture against 𝐿 Warriors. Now, the club in a statement on Wednesday expressed their shock and disappointment following decision of the MPFL authorities to forfeit them 3 points, 3 goals, and also imposed on them a 10 million naira fine for failure to show up in that game. But in their own explanation, 𝐂𝐿 Khalifat said the effective fixture scheduled for Monday, 2nd of February, could not be honoured due to logistical challenges, including a breakdown of their vehicle and all of that. According to the club, the MPFL board had actually been informed in a letter dated February 1st, 2026. So the club chief executive officer, Michael Amefola, accused the MPFL of ignoring their communication and also unilaterally rescheduling the match before imposing what they describe as a harsh and disproportionate sanction. So let me quickly go to Toby now. Toby, great to have you. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us on Scoreboard.
Yes, thank you very much, Toba.
Yeah.
Good afternoon to
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. So, I mean, 𝐂𝐿 Khalifat says, well, we actually informed the MPFL. They were the ones who rescheduled the match without our consent. In fact, they decided to ignore all means of communication and impose this harsh sanction on us. What do you make of the story?
Okay, the truth about this is that you can have arguments for and against for the MPFL and even 𝐂𝐿 Khalifat Football Club. But I think even if you want to have an argument for and against, I think 𝐂𝐿 Khalifat today have not covered themselves in glory because whilst it was established that they sent correspondences, they sent letters to the MPFL board, there was no accent. There was no shall I say they didn't receive they didn't receive a heads up from the MPFL board to proceed, or they didn't give them that thumbs up that, oh, we have acknowledged these letters, and also they cannot unilaterally take all of these decisions, and they themselves pulling out of the league. I tell you, it's for those that does not know how the MPFL framework is, I think they can take a look at it. It's beyond just pulling themselves out of the league. According to the MPFL frameworks, if you pull out of the MPFL, you'll be demoted to the 4th tier of club football. You're going to pay 3 million naira if you want to resume any domestic football. So it's not just, you cannot just take a French leave or just excuse yourself from the league and just come back when you need to do so. However, when you also want to take a look from the other divide, you could also say, well, the MPFL should also have a human face in terms of, okay, the logistics of traveling in Nigeria is so huge on clubs, knowing that even the prize money, which the event of just 100 million naira, and that was a 38 match calendar. I've been of the opinion for some years now that why don't we have something had when we had a functioning basketball league, and what is also what is modeled in American NBA.
Oh,
We have a Southern Conference or an Atlantic Conference and the Sahara Conference, just as we had in the days of a functioning Nigerian basketball league, whereby teams that are would play against each other. Teams in the down south here would play each other. They will have something like Super 6 or a Super 8 as we have in the NN season.
Right.
So that we won't see a whole lot of financial strain on the club. But I think right now, those that have the ears of 𝐶 and its owner, maybe they should tell them that we have to have a rethink, because I tell you this is not the solution we need, because it is not good for our league. It is not good for 𝐶. It's not good for anybody.
All right. Toby, quick one here. Can I say, or should I ask you, the reason why this decision is coming from 𝐶 is this as a result of where they presently occupy, understanding of the Nigeria Premier Football League, with 22 points and seated at 20th position there in the league? Because if they were to be in a better position where they are challenging for the title or they are close to playing on the continent, would this decision have sufficed?
Of course not. Even when they gained promotion to the NPFL, there was a whole lot of rumors. And I think it was those rumors and the apparent body language of the then NNL board and even the NPFL not aligned the sale of the NPFL ticket to, of course, the behemoth in Imo State, that is Heartland Football Club, who were relegated last time in the NPFL. That was what made them, shall I say, grudgingly say they would participate in the NPFL, because most of the time we have seen it in the past, whereby clubs will see it as an avenue to make money, brisk business. We've seen clubs sell NPFL promotion ticket as high as 300 million naira, 500 million naira in the past, and even the winner of the NPFL does not even get close to that or even half of that sum. But at this point, they said they would participate in the league. Right now, they are the basement side in the NPFL, and it's not looking good. They're traveling, though they play some, shall I say, decent football. I saw the game they played against Remo Stars here in Ibadan, where they played, where it ended 1-1 at the end, because they took the lead. They played enterprising football. On another day, they could have gone to Owerri with the 3 points in the back, but it didn't just happen. And one of the wider ramifications of 𝐶 pulling out or throwing themselves out of the league is that all of the points that clubs in the past, prior to now, they have gained, maybe 3 points or a point, all of those points will be expunged from their total as of today. So it's that more reason why I said it's not looking good for anybody, and they are wicked boys.
And Toby, you know, just to quickly wrap up the conversation, you know, we know that 𝐶 is one of the 4 private sides in the NPFL. When you look at Remo Stars, Ikorodu United, and Barra FC as well, and it's not looking good for both sides. You know, for 𝐶, there's a lot they will forfeit. For those in the NPFL as well, they also forfeit all the points accrued while playing against 𝐶. So do you see a middle ground in all of this? Just to wrap up the conversation on 𝐶 very quickly, how do you think this can be resolved? Because the NPFL has imposed its fine. 𝐶 appears not to be backing down the decision to withdraw from the league. Doesn't pay either of the parties from your analysis. Do you see a resolution to all of this?
Yes, the only resolution I see, if the Imo State government can come in, they give the club a bailout, because they're not just representing themselves, they are representing the good people of Imo State. So if they can get a bailout, I think that is the only reasonable middle ground to continue the league season.
Right, thank you, Toby. Before we let you go, I just want to get your take as well on number one Super Eagles goalkeeper. That's away from the NPFL now. Stanley Nwabali. He submitted, a transfer request, a request to leave 𝐶IPA United earlier, and the club has also confirmed in an official X account today. They said that a 20-year-old shortstopper for the Super Eagles submitted his request to depart the club, and that has also been granted after due consideration by the manager. They thanked Stanley Nwabali for his services during his spell with the Chile Boys. He's had quite a time with 𝐶IPA United and quite a time with the Super Eagles as well. Joined them in 2022, rose to prominence after his impressive performance in the AFCON tournament in Côte d'Ivoire, which we lost against the Ivorians, in the final, before we finished, with the bronze medal just at the recently concluded edition. So, talk to me about Nwabali leaving 𝐶IPA United, the next challenge for him as a Super Eagles goalkeeper.
Well, the next challenge for me, I think, if he wants to stay in Africa or if he wants to stay in South Africa, maybe he should go to the big teams, maybe the likes of Orlando Pirates. I don't see him going to this club, Mamelodi Sundowns, because I think Roman Williams, the number one goalkeeper of South Africa, has that on lockdown. But any club that he wants to take right now, he must keep a whole lot of things in mind, where you'll be getting the starting shirt, because he's our number one goalkeeper, and of course a massive upgrade of his wages. So I think he has paid his dues for Chippa United, and I think he needs a better challenge to also give him better competition and even improve his goalkeeping skills for the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
Isn't it quite funny? You don't have your destination yet, and it is not out, and then you decide to terminate your contract.
I think he knows where he wants to go to, because some weeks ago, Simba Sport Club of Tanzania wanted to sign him from Chippa United. There was the disagreement on the final transfer fee, and I think he opted to terminate his contract. And for players who live on a free, it's even an extra advantage to them, because they'll get their sign-on fees to themselves. It will be the club, and there will be a whole lot of incentives. Clubs prefer to get players on the free. Look at what happened to Kylian Mbappe, where he had a protected transfer situation with PSG before ultimately signing for Real Madrid. So I think players most of the time even prefer that, because it is more money for them.
Right. It's interesting that out of the potential destination, we're not even talking maybe possibly outside Africa, for the Super Eagles goalkeeper. No, not even in Europe. But anyway, thank you, Toby Ajiwale. But Toby, before I let you go, just a quick one. Maybe 10 seconds. Ademola Lookman, Atletico Madrid are so elated about him. They've done series of posts on their X handle to show his arrival at the club. Right now, they have announced that he's in the squad. We're not sure if he's going to make his debut, but he's in the squad for tonight's Copa del Rey game away at Real Betis for Atletico Madrid. Great one for Lookman in that one.
Yes, great one for Lookman. I'm sure even if he doesn't start, he would get some minutes under the belt for Atletico Madrid, Rojiblancos. It's a cup game, and this is one of those games where they can even see what he can do before they give him his full La Liga appearance or a full La Liga debut. But for me, I think this is one of those moves that several Nigerians are hoping to work, because when you take a look at his CV, he has had a whole lot of ups and downs, but irrespective of that, I think wherever he finds himself, he has always been an achiever, and I hope he continues in that upward trend.
Thank you so much, Toby, for joining us on Scoreboard Reloaded. Thank you so much for giving us insight into those headlines. Thank you.
My pleasure.
All right. Okay, so SAMIES, as Toby said, it's a great one for Ademola Lookman. If he makes his debut, and even if he doesn't make his debut today, he will eventually make his debut in the Spanish La Liga, top league in Europe, top team in Spain as well, third in the league on the league table, and they are currently playing the quarterfinal in the Copa del Rey. Big action for them away at Real Betis later tonight.
For Ademola Lookman, I think just like everybody has been saying, it's been a good move for him leaving Italy, where he was not really loved anymore. But to a club that has shown so much affection to him. That
I've been seeing series of posts from them,
yes,
celebrating his arrival.
I saw Nigerians, most of that's influencers, and talking about sports journalists as well, tag Atletico de Madrid and say, come on, let's collaborate, let's do these things together. Yeah. We'll give you names you cannot call Ademola Lookman. And it's so good that to watch the interview where he was asked, what does he like people calling him? And he said, Mola. Well, Mola, definitely, yes. It's a good one for him. But for Ademola Lookman, rightly as Toby said, sooner or later, he would leave his mark in Spanish football, and that I expect Ademola Lookman to actually do. If he can't win the league again, which is definitely, it seems like it's far from reach for Atletico de Madrid, this is an opportunity for them to win a trophy. That's the Copa del Rey.
Certainly, Lookman has come a long way in European football, and he's already cemented himself as one of the best on the African continent.
People can't forget about him.
The
one is the Panenka, and the other is the Europa League final.
Yeah, the Europa League final. Phenomenal. He's really when you talk about growth, for an African player, Lookman is somebody that symbolizes that growth, moving from that horrific period in Fulham into becoming one of the celebrated players in Italy, pushing his team to the European title in that Europa League final, and also winning the African Footballer of the Year as well. Great one for the Super Eagles International. Quickly, let's leave the Coppa del Rey, Coppa Italia tonight as well. Atalanta, Lookman's former team facing Juventus at home in the quarterfinal of the Coppa Italia. SAMIES.
Not a big game, I would say, because it promises to be one-sided. I would put it as that. Atlanta
one-sided in favor of Juve.
Yes. Because you look at Atlanta also since Ademola Lookman, since the start of the season where there has been issues, I don't think Atlanta, they've been that aside. And also, let's not forget they lost their manager also in Gasperini earlier this season. So they've not really been doing wonderful things. But for Juventus, I want to see this side, who are also in the top 4 of the Italian Serie A, fight for at least the one title. It's been longer for Juventus to say that since Massimiliano Allegri left that side, they've not challenged for anything.
And they are far off the
after their dominance in over 7 years.
They are far of the summit at the moment in the Serie A table, 10 points behind leaders Inter Milan. And for Atalanta, they're currently 7th on 36 points after 23 games. So it looks like this Coppa Italia might be something that Juventus might be competing for. But in cup games, you never know. There could be surprises.
It's a one-time thing, there can be surprises. But this one, I'm giving it to the old ladies of Turin.
All right, let's quickly go to England now. Let's start off with Pep Guardiola asking that the rules be changed. There should be some kind of exemption for Maguire, who was cup-tied when he lost out of the first leg semi-finals, from Crystal Palace rather, and then he featured. Pep Guardiola wants him to feature in the final against Arsenal after the Gunners beat Chelsea 4-2 on aggregate, and Man City thrashed Newcastle 5-1 on aggregate to make their final to the EFL Cup. Quickly, let's listen to Pep Guardiola regarding the rule changes he's asking for from the EFL.
Understand why cannot play the final. Honestly, so hopefully we make a letter, and hopefully the Carabao Cup or whatever, they can understand that once you buy a player for a lot of money and he's not able to play for a rule that I don't understand why, hopefully they can change it, they can play.
Talking about sending a letter.
Right, so Pep Guardiola says he cannot understand, although there's a report on Sky Sports I'm reading now, and he's confirming that from their sources, the EFL would not change its rules to allow Maguire play for Man City in the final of the Carabao Cup. Looks like the rules implemented for the first time this season state that if a player is signed after the first leg of the semi-final that is ineligible to play in the remainder of the competition, it means that he cannot play in the final if the team eventually makes it through. Again, the rule, if implemented for the first time, says if a player is signed after the first leg of the semi-final that is ineligible to play in the remainder of the competition. So this report is saying Pep's request will likely be rejected. SAMIES.
Definitely, I think there isn't common sense in what Pep Guardiola has said, because this has been a standing order for years now, and not even about the semi-finals. If you sign some players, they are actually, there's a term in football called cup-bound.
Yes.
And for players like that, they've been cup-bound. And to even say that Maguire, who is in question, he played in the quarterfinals, where his side lost out on penalty shootout to Arsenal. So you signed him right after your first leg, not before your first leg. You signed Semenyo before your first leg. You registered him, and of course he played. So Guardiola should actually forget about this, and I actually like the fact that the FAD are standing on this, because this Manchester City sides look like the rules in football is not meant for them. It looks like it's not meant for them.
Is it 115 charges?
We still have no verdict over that for Manchester City. Maybe the likes of Manchester United would have titles that to themselves at the expense of the verdict coming from the English FA. But this one, Pep Guardiola, he has gotten it all wrong.
Right, but can you understand his pain though, saying that if you buy a player for a lot of money, you expect him to feature in a major final against a team like Arsenal?
That's why the January transfer window is not meant for you to actually spend big,
joke around,
don't splash the whole cash on players. Because you look at it now, he's just being that saucy, I would put it as that, because I don't think he he wants any good for Mikel Arteta. He is trying to challenge for everything on all fronts. Just because Arteta is in question once again. Last season, we saw Guardiola. He has spent so much and signed players during the winter transfer window, during the summer transfer window, and then just before the Club World Cup, you signed more players again. And then you look at the January transfer window, he has signed another set of players. It's all about the checkbook manager, Pep Guardiola, and things are not working so well for him, and I'm happy with that.
Oh, yeah, you sound very happy that things are not working for him.
Yes, that's because...
Well, things are not working for him. It's debatable, though. SAMIES, how many points are they behind Arsenal? Yes, the league is Arsenal to lose. 6 points. A lot can happen now. A lot can happen.
Yes,
then the final of the FA Cup.
That's why I said, I was here with Dolapo yesterday. I said, these are two sides open for the quadruple this season.
Yes.
And it is still possible with Manchester City, with Arsenal this season winning the quadruple. But you look at what Guardiola is doing.
He has experience.
Look at it on Arsenal side. Guardiola is out there ranting about injury to players. Okay, after one injury scare, you went to the market, you signed a player, Maguire, just because of Ruben Diaz and J.K.Gavdo are out. Mikel Arteta in recent years has lost some of the best players in his team, and of course he still found a way to make things better. Look at the injury crisis that Liverpool are having at this point in time. Alexander Isak out injured, a broken leg. Look at the defense line, looks depleted also. They are trying to work things away, and then you just talk about Tottenham Hotspur. That is a side who has 15 regulars out of their team, and then this is Guardiola, the checkbook manager, really complaining about players.
All right, quickly, let's go to the Premier League Manager of the Month nominee. 4 of them, SAMIES, Michael Carrick, whose first 2 games ended in victory for him. Manchester Derby, victory over Man City. Away at Arsenal, victory as well for him. So just 2 games were just enough to earn him a nomination as a Manager of the Month for January. Sean Dyche, Nottingham Forest, they were able to turn the corner after 4 consecutive defeats with 2 wins and a draw from their first 4 outings, failing only to Aston Villa in January. Then Anthony Iraola as well of Bournemouth, and who was able to get a point against the Cherries and of course Wolverhampton Wanderers. Against Liverpool and Wolverhampton Wanderers actually. And then Chelsea newcomer Liam Rosiner, his time has seen very interesting results for Chelsea. They saw of Brentford, saw of Crystal Palace, and they came from 2 goals down to beat West Ham in the last Premier League game before losing in the second leg semi-final against Arsenal on Tuesday night. So out of the 4, who gets it for you, SAMIES?
I want to see what's his name now, Liam Rosiner. Actually win this.
All right. I think he's done enough, especially.
But a lot of people, it's subjective also. A lot of people say he didn't play against the big boys. But for him to actually, subjective. Let me change my mind. I would actually go with the Michael Carrick because he defeated the 2 contending sides.
Yes, Man City and beat Arsenal away.
Yes.
And it's not very often you see Arsenal conceding 3 goals on that Arteta. Yeah. Okay, quickly, Player of the Month, Ayari, Brighton Hove Albion, Patrick Dogu, Manchester United, Enzo Fernandez, Chelsea, Junior Krupi, Bournemouth, Somerville, West Ham United, Igor Thiago, Brentford, Harry Wilson, Fulham, and Florian Wirtz, Liverpool. Who gets it?
He got Thiago for me because he caught up with, not the catch-up then, but he still goes behind Erling Haaland, but he really did something in the month of January.
All right, thank you so much for being a part of Scoreboard Reloaded. Don't forget to join us at 9:15 tomorrow morning on Scoreboard in 15. Thank you, SAMIES and Toby, for doing this with me. My name is OLORUNTOBA Yusuf. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday evening. Bye for now.